What's going on, everyone? My name is Cole, aka Trans Spirit Indigo. Welcome to my channel. I am a soul, much like you, having a human experience. I personally happen to be transgender. If you're new to this channel, please do me a favor and hit that like button because of course you know it helps with the algorithms. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. I'm making new videos every week. I'm thankful to be here talking to you. And today's video is very important to my heart. I'm going to talk about the fact that I'm transgender and non-binary. Now, some of you have been asking, how is that possible? What does that mean? First and foremost, these are all labels because truly I am a soul, I am energy in a human body, in this meat suit, in this beautiful meat suit. That we all have our own meat suit, and when it is expired, not to be depressing, but when it's our time to go, our energy, in my humble opinion, lives on and transfers. Yes, I believe in an afterlife. You're on a spiritual channel. I believe that energy cannot be broken, only transferred. So I transfer out of this body. But while I'm here in this body, I want to share with you why I label myself as transgender and non-binary as far as labels do go. Now, I'm a transgender male because I identify as being male. I always have. I've identified as male my entire life. I just didn't talk about it until my 20s. I was scared, I wasn't around anyone that was trans, and I never heard that word before. So I just kept it to myself. Now that I'm out and I'm open and I'm talking about it, I want to tell you that the term non-binary, I use that too because I am a trans man who has not transitioned. I don't take hormones, no HRT, hormone replacement therapy for me, and no surgery. However, I fully support anyone who decides to take hormone replacements and anyone who decides to have surgery. Quite honestly, I would have done all this if it wasn't for a few reasons. And that's the thing, is I'm asking everyone to please be open-minded. And I'm sure you are already very open-minded. But please don't forget and tell everyone you know, please be open-minded and regardless of if you're trans or cisgender or whatever, we don't truly know somebody's story. And you truly cannot judge a book by its cover. I don't know who patented that quote. But seriously, because people have been judging me my whole life, much like they judge you. Everyone is judged. At some point in your life, you're going to be judged. And I have judged others because I'm human and I'm not perfect. People often judge me and just assume that I'm a lesbian. And I'm not a lesbian because I don't identify as a female. I'm attracted to females, and biologically, I am a female. But I'm a transgender male. So, I use the term non-binary for myself as well as trans because, quite honestly, for a lot of people, I appear to be non-binary. I don't fit in to the male or the female binary. And that's okay. I want you to know if that's you, that's okay. That's okay. You're a beautiful soul, and it's all about being yourself. It's all about dressing the way that you want to dress, acting the way you want to act, who you truly are. I spent a lot of time in my early years trying to do stereotypical masculine things. And I learned that that's just not me. And it's fine if you are super masculine, but that's not really me. So with me trying to be like that, I was trying to be somebody I wasn't. And that's never good. That's never good. Now, if I truly was super macho, that's cool too, but I'm not. I'm a very sensitive soul. I'm an indigo child, adult. And I am very in touch with my feminine energy, much more than I once was. That's the thing, is I was always trying to deny it and no, I'm a man. And I realized later that I was pretty much overcompensating because I was constantly being misgendered. So that upset me, and because I hadn't dealt with that inside, I was projecting that anger out onto other people. No, I'm this way, I'm a man, I'm manly, you don't know me. My friends, when you go within and you start befriending your own self, which I know can be very extra difficult for trans people because the outside doesn't match the inside. But we have to do it too, trans people. We have to love ourselves. That's been one of my hardest lessons in this life, is self-love. And I'm actually just now embracing it all these years later, and that's a big reason why I wanted to talk about it. There's a gray area with gender, just like with anything else. Gender is a spectrum. You're going to meet cisgender heterosexual men that are kind of flamboyant. It doesn't mean that they're not straight or they're not men. Same thing with women. You know, I've met a lot. I have female friends that are heterosexual and cisgender. And guess what? Sometimes they like to wear guys' clothes. They like to wear big, jerseys. And sometimes they like to, watch sports. And it's all just constructs from society, all these things. Gender is a spectrum. So you just have to tap in and ask yourself, what do I like? What resonates with me? Okay? Please do that, because I love you and I want you to love you too. So back to the judgment. We have to do our best to not judge people and just assume that they are a certain way. There have been people that have met me and right off the bat knew that I was a trans male. Some people can just feel that from my soul. A lot of times they don't. I mean, I could go to the grocery store. Some people say sir, some people say ma'am. I never know what's going to happen. And that's a lot of times where the non-binary comes in for me, because again, I don't just fit into male or female, but I still identify as trans male because I do identify as a male. Now, I wanted to tell you, okay, so why I have not taken T, and I've said this in other videos, if you haven't seen those yet, my reasons for not taking testosterone are very personal, and there's two reasons. The first reason is I've been a professional singer in my life. I haven't done much singing lately with COVID and things have been weird, but I'm a professional singer. And also, number two is I am very sensitive to synthetic chemicals. Some people can take on chemicals and take pharmaceutical drugs, and it doesn't affect them negatively. I have literally been rushed to the hospital after taking certain chemicals when I was ill. And it just doesn't work for me. Now, I don't know if it has to do with being an indigo child or I have no idea, but I just know for me, I don't think I would do too well with the synthetic chemicals. And sometimes I'm sad about it. Sometimes I wish that I could do it. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I would like to just transition, be done with it, go by a male, or not go by a male, go by being male without saying, oh, I'm trans and I'm non-binary. Because sometimes it can be frustrating because people are always asking, what does that mean? What does that mean? But you know what? I've learned to embrace it, and I've learned to not be so frustrated by it, because I shouldn't be frustrated by it. It's who I am. It's who I'm meant to be. Is this person who is more non-binary. But I had the absolute honor of having people see my comment on a Sam Collins video, who is a very popular transgender YouTuber. I don't know if he'd ever see this, but Sam, I love you and I appreciate you. You have more cojones than I could ever imagine, standing up to so many transphobic people. Thank you for taking on that role, because I don't think that I would have the strength to do that. Thank you, sir. Anyway, I commented on a video that he did where he was supporting non-binary people and speaking out for them, because Sam is not non-binary. He's strictly a trans man who has done the whole HRT process. And I was blessed to see all these people reacting and commenting and asking me, how are you trans and non-binary? That doesn't make sense. And when I told them that it was derived from my vocals and how I didn't want to change that, it was wonderful, because all these people started commenting, hey, me too. I'm a transgender person that has not taken testosterone or estrogen, or I haven't changed because I'm a voiceover actor or I'm a singer, or, And the thing is, too, that you can still be a voiceover actor or a singer and change your voice. And I want to make that clear. Just because I didn't want to change it doesn't mean you can't. There are a lot of transgender artists out there who have transitioned, and their new voice, so to say, is wonderful. It's beautiful, it's handsome, whatever it is, it's great. I've heard a lot of these people. And so it's like, just because you change your voice doesn't mean it's going to be shitty. Like that's not what I mean at all. It was more so that I knew that I didn't want to change my voice. So that was just my decision. As I even had the doctor tell me, he said, I made a video, I'll stick it up there. I had a bad experience with a doctor years ago who pretty much told me that my chances of living past the age of 30 weren't going to be high if I didn't transition. Now, he's wrong. Okay, he's wrong, but I will say that I did put my life into risk many times with my drinking and drug abuse during those years. So really, I am very lucky to be here. There was a lot of truth to what he said. However, I don't agree with how he said it to me, especially being so young. And there was no talk of non-binary. There was no talk of, oh, well, you don't have to take testosterone to be trans. In his mind, I had to. And those old ways are out the window. There is no one way to be trans. And bless his heart, honestly, I know I've talked like hateful toward him, and I don't want to be hateful, and I want to forgive him because he was just speaking from what he knew and what he understood. And again, there was no talk about non-binary in those days. This was like almost 20 years ago. So he just spoke what he knew. But I'm here to say now that there is no one right way to be trans. So if you find yourself not wanting to transition, please don't let anyone shame you about this. And if you find yourself wanting to transition, don't let anyone shame you about that either. I fully support all trans people that have good intentions, that are good people and want good for others. I support you, and I appreciate your support. So I did not transition physically, but I did transition socially. I started to wear what is considered masculine clothing, even though we all know that we place gender upon clothing. Clothing doesn't actually have a gender. Clothing doesn't, we don't birth clothing and, say, oh, this is my shirt born on December 2nd, 1975, and it's a girl. We put gender on clothing. So with that being said, I socially started to change by wearing the clothes that I wanted to wear, regardless of what people had to say. And for many years, I did not go by he. In the early 2000s, I didn't know any trans people except that doctor, and we weren't friends. So when I went out into the world, when I turned 20, and I started telling my friends that I was transgender, no one knew what the hell it was. Nobody. Now, one of my best friends, bless her heart, she looked it up. She tried to learn about it. But people didn't know what it was. And I literally had people say, oh, we just tell people you're a lesbian. It's too difficult to explain. And I made the mistake of letting people do that when really it was hurting me. It was hurting me to be told that I was too hard to explain. I'm not too hard to explain. Honestly, it's really not that hard of a concept. You just feel like you're in the opposite body of who you are. And yes, that's hard to wrap your head around. But trust me, once you've been doing it for 30 something years, it's like, it's not really that hard to to understand. And in all due respect, I don't mean to make people feel stupid or dumb. That's not my intention. But I just feel like I'll speak for myself. I feel like I made such a big deal about it in my younger years. And that's where a lot of the self-hate and shame that I accumulated came from, was because I was always trying to explain myself like being trans was a problem. I was a problem. We're not a problem, folks. We're not a problem. It's about us educating the masses and letting them know who we are. And I'm not trying to push any kind of agenda on anyone. And if somebody doesn't want to accept me for who I am, I also know that I have to let that go. That's a lesson I've recently learned, is that there are always going to be people that don't understand me. And I have to accept that. Because it's for my own mental health, and such as yours. If you are a minority or you're trans, just understand that it's not our responsibility to force everyone to agree with us, but it is our responsibility to stand up for who we are, and don't be afraid to be who you are. Now, some of us are very privileged, and we're in places on this planet where we can be ourselves. We cannot forget our soul siblings that are on other parts of this planet that cannot dress the way they want, that cannot act the way they want. We got to send love and light to them, y'all. Because they are the true warriors. We're all warriors, but these people, they are true warriors. They can't come out for fear of their own life. They have to manifest a new situation. They might have to leave the country of their origin just to live freely. So please, including myself. Let's not forget how, if you are located in an area where you can openly be yourself, and the worst that's going to happen is somebody talking shit to you, but you're not going to be killed for it. Like, let's be grateful for that. Not to say that people don't get killed in the United States where I'm at, because people do get killed for being trans. But I'm talking about the areas of the world where, like, the government itself will not let you be queer of any sorts. We have to remember this, and we have to honor our freedom and I'm speaking for myself too. We can't complain as much as we do. I know I've complained so much about it. Oh, you don't understand me. You don't let me be me. Nobody really ever stopped me from being me. Other people are literally stopped. So I just wanted to put that as a side note, because I know I'm blessed to have some subscribers on here that aren't in the United States, and they are dealing with this. And I send you so much love, especially somebody in particular. I hope you know who you are. I'm sending you so much love. You are the true warrior, and you will get out of there. You will. Mark my words, I feel it. I just wanted to throw that out there, because not everyone has the same rights and freedoms on this planet. Although being free is technically everyone's birthright. Unfortunately, government, systems, and certain things have kept that from people. But please know that. And I'm sending love and light that if you are in a place where you cannot freely be yourself, that you are able to move to a place where you can. If you've been on this channel, then you know that this channel is about transgender issues and triumphs, but also it's spiritual. It's a spiritual channel. And my belief system is in reincarnation. And I want to remind especially the people that are in these places right now where they can't be themselves, is that source energy would not have put you in that life if you couldn't handle it. As hard as it is, now this is my belief with me, with everyone, the challenges that we are given, I don't believe that Source would give it to us if we couldn't handle it. It's just that some people's challenges are more difficult than others. So if you're looking at some super difficult challenges, please remind yourself that you are a true warrior. So many of us that are living as trans, we're warriors. We came here to change the system. And what I mean by change is, it's not that we're trying to make other people trans. I would never try to make someone else trans. It doesn't work like that. You're born trans. You don't decide to be trans, regardless of what some people might think. But LGBTQ all across the board. And cisgender people. There are warriors all throughout. If you're here, you're probably a light worker. You're a warrior. You're here to wake people up and change it. Now, when I said change as far as transgender, we're not trying to change people. We're trying to change their perspective of what's considered normal. We're here to let people know that transgender people have always been on this planet. They've just been swept under the rug. But we won't be swept under the rug anymore, especially in this age of information. So we're here to, and especially the indigo children, crystal children, rainbow children, we are here to abolish those old systems. Those old restrictive boxes of how you're supposed to be. So I just wanted to remind you that you incarnated here and you're a warrior, and that you can handle anything that comes your way. No matter how big and scary it is, you got this. With that being said, please remember that your guides, your angels are always with you in the roughest of times. Please don't forget to ask them for help. This is a planet of free will. I've said it, I'll say it thousands more times, because I need to remind you and remind myself. A lot of times when we get really upset about stuff, maybe somebody's saying awful transphobic stuff to you, we forget that we can call upon our angels and guides to help heal, to help us get through difficult situations, to help us figure out the next steps in our life when we're feeling lost. I love you so much, and I appreciate you so very much for being here. It means the absolute world to me. When I started this channel, I didn't really know where I was going to go with it and what I was going to talk about other than my experiences being trans. And quite honestly, when I started this channel in 2017, I was on the brink of heavy spiritual awakening. I had already kind of started to wake up, but it was 2017 for me where stuff was just happening very rapidly. Now, if you were to go through my channel, you'll notice that there were months at a time where I didn't make any videos. I've made the mistake of getting into jobs that weren't really meant for me, that made me unhappy. And when I finally let go of those kind of jobs, I felt peace within. And now that I'm making more videos every week, I feel this connection with everyone. Like we're growing here together. I'm meeting other YouTubers and people that are like-minded, and we're here for one another. Just please know that you are never alone. Please, if you need to, at the bottom here in the description, I always put my email. There might be some videos that I missed back in the day where it's not there, but if you go to any current videos, you will see my email. If you have any questions or you just want to reach out, please feel free to do that. I also put the links to my music channel. I'm a singer-songwriter and a musician. And I just want to wish you all a very, very good life. Not just day, not just week, but life. If you can, try to find something every day to celebrate, even the littlest of things, because the attitude of gratitude is where it's at. To me, that's the secret of life, is to be grateful for what we have will attract more to be grateful for. It is the law of attraction. So my friends, I am grateful for you. I'm grateful to be here. And I look forward to making another video and seeing you all next time. So please don't forget to subscribe. I very much appreciate it. So very much. I'm seeing the love and I'm giving it right back. Again, I love you all. Peace.